Hey everybody, Nick DiCarlo here. Most of you know me by my heavily scrambled nickname and alias on MT Media, Dick DiCarlo. Who would have figured that one out? MT Media is an online alternative media platform with a variety of shows, but mine specifically are heavily based in satire and comedy. A few days before the January 6th events, we at MT Media decided to send representatives to do field reporting and satirical interviews at the event. Nick Oakes and myself were tasked with the job. The 6th did begin with interviews and color commentary, as well as some jokes and jabs. But then we decided to document the march that commenced following Trump's speech. And neither of us expected what was going to unfold as it did. We definitely didn't foresee being as close to those events as we were. In our role as field reporters and journalists on the ground, we documented everything possible with our cameras. This was particularly important as we were confident that at its conclusion, the mainstream media outlets would provide a very skewed take on the actual events of the day and try to exaggerate them, as they have. Now, as we were recording, we were inside of the crowd. We were in the action. We wanted to show everything that was happening on both the sides of the protesters, the sides of the police, and I would say it's important to note that neither of us participated in any vandalization. We didn't open any doors, we didn't enter any private offices, and we were not given any instruction from law enforcement to leave. We were given no orders at all by any authority at all. Not one police officer asked us to leave while we were inside of the building covering the events. And we were there for 90 minutes. Then we decided to leave. That's it. We didn't vandalize anything. None of that. But on the next day, while returning home to his family, Nick Oakes was kidnapped by the FBI and detained for 5 days, unsure if he was going to see his family or not. And I myself, yesterday on the 19th, have now heard news of a warrant out for my arrest. The feds have been clear with their intention to punish to the fullest extent of the law, and everyone who covered the protest in the capacity of a reporter, like Nick Oakes and myself, are on that list. To prosecute professionals for doing their jobs and covering what is arguably one of the biggest events in our nation's history. I'm asking for your assistance to help cover my legal fees. I've already begun accruing. Federal criminal defense attorneys, unfortunately, come at a cost far beyond my current means. I'm facing political persecution and prosecution for simply attempting to bring light to the facts and truth of what transpired that day. Thank you for any help you can give me. I appreciate it.
What's going on, guys? My name is Pierce, and I host Blackballed Podcast. We are at an interesting time in America. Freedom of speech is on the line. Freedom of press is literally dead. And now we are seeing political witch hunts for conservatives, for anything right of center. We're seeing backlash, we're seeing punishment, prosecution for simply being at rallies, being at protests, or, even weirder, being a journalist at one of these things. A friend of mine, Dick DiCarlo of MT Media, is facing federal prosecution. It's not looking good for him, all because he wanted to showcase what was going on during the January 6th events. He had no involvement except for making sure that he was delivering you, the people, the freedom to access the information of what was going on, to access what was truly happening in DC. Don't let these witch hunts affect the people that you love and care for, because they're coming for you too. It's not just the journalists, not just people that you've seen in the news. It is coming for you too. It's not going to stop with banning you on Facebook or taking away Parler. This is going to get worse and worse. So please, if in any way you can, please help out, and please make sure that we keep our freedoms, keep our freedom of speech, our freedom of press, freedom of information. America's on the line for this. So please, if you can, please give anything, and it would mean the world to us. It would mean the world for our future.
A politically persecuted journalist that works for MT Media has finally had a warrant put out against him. He's one of our dearly, dearly beloved colleagues here at MT Media. And I guess on the local news here in Monte Rio, a neighbor saw his face on the news. Now, keep in mind, this was yesterday, so this is under the oppressive Trump regime. But Biden has not had time to turn this around yet. Hopefully he makes that number 18 on his list before the day is over with. That journalists are not politically persecuted by the system for documenting what goes on in these white supremacist rallies. So we're going to have to start a campaign to raise attorney's fees, which he told me the attorney's fees today, and they are insane because this is a federal case. And I said, I'll give you the figure. It's $15,000. That's, the guy's like, I'll do it for $15,000. Real prominent federal attorney, African-American guy. And not that matters. And yeah, he said 15 grand. So the good news is, on our first campaign, raising money for political prisoner Nicholas Oakes, who's also a journalist / reporter for MT Media and the Oakes Report on MT Media, we raised just shy of $20,000 for his legal defense. So you're going to start seeing a blitz of fundraising going on because we need to get that money for Nick DiCarlo as well. And Parler has been taken away. Now, we were only on Parler to keep an eye out on the white supremacists and their hateful spread on social media. Now, luckily, Parler was taken down, so no more hate and terror plotting could be planned. However, we happened to build our audience on Parler, and it got up to 19,000 followers and only followed 44 hate people, which was nice. You know, it's like I didn't have to follow a whole bunch of them to get in their circles and whatnot. But because Parler is gone, we don't have the ability to fundraise like we did. So I'm going to ask everybody that when Murder the Media on Telegram shares a fundraising campaign that you give what you can. Look at it like this. If you watch the show regularly or if you like what we do, throw in $1. Have we entertained you enough for $1? Think about it. And if we can get enough people to throw in $1 or 20, then we can do the legal fees. And I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think that it will be, like the goal will be 15 to 20 grand. I'm not sure if there's other fees on top of the 15,000. But anyway, we're not going to ask for 100,000 and then boost it up to 200,000.